Alright, everybody. Happy Saturday. What are you all up to for the night? You're going to be chillaxing and having a few drinks, staying beside the fire, meeting up with friends, going to a nightclub, watching videos. What are you up to? As for me, I don't really know what I'm going to do tonight. Typical boring Saturday, you know. I like those. I really do. In my last video, I wanted to say hello to someone, but of course, I ran out of time. So I'm going to say hello now to Kathleen. Hello, Kathleen. Her name is Oopspaw. And I like the name because the name Oopspaw kind of reflects her personality. You know, it's like funny and just really cute. You know. So I really like Oopspaw, Kathleen. I really like her. I think that there's a happiness about her. Just she reminds me of a very close friend of mine called Annie. Myself and Annie met in a bar a few years ago, and we instantly hit it out like straight away. I didn't say make out, no, I said hit it off. We got along very well, and ever since I've known Annie, I've been laughing. You know. So yeah, Kathleen, you remind me of Annie a lot. So anyway, now in my last video, I think it was my last video, I mentioned about a telephone pole, an accident that I had with a telephone pole. 1 second. Ah, crack my neck. And Kathleen wants to know what the story was. Now, I don't remember if I mentioned this in a vlog before or not, but I'm going to tell you again. And I'm going to tell you again for Kathleen. So, I mean, there's so many people have subscribed since I would have told that story. So, listen carefully. Did you ever climb stuff when you were younger? I did. Now, there was these two telephone poles. One was here and one was here. And there was a wire going from one to the other. And that wire was down like that. It wasn't straight across, it was down. Well, you know, down like that. And underneath there was kind of a mud hill. Now, how do I explain this? The telephone pole was back to tracks. And we as kids hung around back to tracks. Now, these tracks were no longer being used. And they were very old, but they were still there. And these tracks went on for miles, you know? Well, along the tracks anyway, at one side there was a mud hill going up, like that. And then up to the telephone poles, which were like that. And there was loads of telephone poles all the way down. But these particular ones, this particular one, the wire was hanging down. And what people used to do is jump off. There was a pillar beside this mud hill, and you could get a stick and you could jump up and pull down the telephone wire. Lads, you wouldn't get electrocuted. There was a rubber around it or something, but we didn't get electrocuted. Maybe they weren't been used anymore either. But so 3 or 4 people would jump on together and jump off the mud hill and bounce up and down on these wires, on this wire. So anyway, to cut a long story short, it was fairly high up as well, lads. Believe you me, it was fairly bloody well high. So I think it was 5 people jumped on and they were bouncing on it. And I was bouncing on it with them because as the wire was going down, I ran up and jumped on, so I was hanging on too. Now, one of the people that was supposed to go up, after the count of 3, everyone was to leave go, and she would go up, and she would bounce up and down like, and talk about dangerous, but we did it. But anyway, 1, 2, 3. They all sorry, 1, and then at 2, they let go. They were supposed to let go at 3. They let go at 2. All of them, except me. So I flew up straight up in the air, got a fright, let go of the wire, and I landed down on the rocks in my back. There was grass and mud, but there was rocks everywhere. These jagged rocks, like. And I went bam. My lungs stopped instantly. I was winded. I wasn't able to breathe, and I couldn't breathe for what felt like about 10 minutes. I had to be carried home because my legs stopped working. And a few hours later, of course, we didn't want to tell my mom and my dad because we knew that we would get freaking killed. So I was carried home, legs weren't working, my back was completely and utterly what felt like it was smashed, like. But I didn't break any bones. I bashed the back of my head up. My back was all tore up and stuff like that, but no bones were broken. Whew! Thank God for that. But couldn't go to school for a few days. Didn't tell my mom why. I just had a pain in my back. She didn't really, you know. But anyway, if I was her, I would have brought me over to the hospital right away. But I was just saying it was just a small pain or something. Anyway, so that's the story of that. So ever since my back can get pretty bad. And as Homie understands, Kelly Rose's husband, Homie, a pain in the back ain't a nice thing. So in the winter time, it usually hits. But I deal with it. I've got medication for it and stuff that I take. So there we go. Then there was a car crash that I was in. I think that was about 6 months later. A head-on collision. So this car came around the corner. It was going so fast around the corner, it was on the wrong side of the road. It couldn't stay on its own side of the road. It was going so fast. It went around the corner, couldn't stop in time, smashed into our car, drove us through a wall, and the car was like an accordion. I reckon these are all near-death experiences or something. Then there was, when I was a kid, I was mad into electronics and all that kind of stuff. I was mad into, I don't know, if I found something with a plug on it, I'd plug it in. I would have been only 6 years old. So I found this clock. It was like a clock that you'd find at school, that's on the wall, the one that's with the metal around it, you know, the one that was always plugged in. So I found a clock like that hidden away in my father's work area at home. Now I dug deep for that clock, so my dad wasn't being stupid, like leaving it out where I could get it. But I was able to dig and dig and dig through everything, and I got it, and I plugged it in, and I looked up, and the time was wrong. So I wanted to adjust the time, so I reached up, grabbed the clock, and I got electrocuted. I frizzled. I stuck onto it. I was actually, and the weird thing is, I was standing on a stool, which is really, really weird. I don't think you could get electrocuted if you were standing on something else and then touch it. But by God, you can. That stool flew from underneath me. I was still hanging because I couldn't let go. And next thing then, whatever happened, the wire broke or something, and my hair was frizzled out. And you think that's just in comedies? That's real. Your hair frizzles when you get electrocuted. What else? Yeah. I was hit by a car when I was going back to school on my bike. I was on a racer and I was cycling away, and I got hit by a car from the side. I was thrown up into the air. I busted up my arm, my side, my arse, everything, but I was fine. I didn't want a big deal made out of it, didn't want an ambulance or anything. My bike was all twisted, and I actually walked to school that way. I didn't want to go home because I knew that I might get in trouble. Now, one last quick one. Coming home from a nightclub one night, I was with my friends, and I was with an ex-girlfriend at the time. And I was messing, and I started to joke around, and I was walking backwards and kind of dancing in front of my girlfriend, just messing. And we came to traffic lights where a car had stopped, and the light was red, obviously. So I was dancing, going backwards, and I hit the curb with my leg, and I fell onto the road right in front of the car. Now, my head was right beside the wheel of that car. Your man didn't see me because he was doing something. He was adjusting his radio or something. The light went green. He started to go. The wheel started to go over near my head, like, and the girl I was with and all her friends roared and screamed. People across the road screamed as well. They were banging on his window, and he stopped. And when I got up, I looked at your man and his face was snow white. He got an almighty fright. I should have got my arse kicked. But what are you gonna do? Let me know your stories. Any near-death experiences? Want to do a video response? That'd be pretty sweet, guys. You're all tagged to do it. So, in your own time. Or you can leave a comment down below. Alright. Love you guys.